I want you to do something before this video starts properly. Hold up your hand. Look at it, from the tip of your middle finger to the base of your palm. That distance. That is roughly 16 centimeters. That is also the entire body length of the animal we are talking about today. Something that fits in your hand. Something smaller than most TV remotes. Something that if you held it right now, you could close your fingers around completely. And yet, marine biologists, the same careful, deliberate scientists who spend years studying ocean life, looked at this animal and gave it a common name that is not a nickname, not a joke, and not an exaggeration. They called it the fangtooth, because when you see what this 16-centimeter fish is carrying in its mouth relative to the size of its own body, there is genuinely no other word that works. The fangtooth fish has the largest teeth relative to body size of any fish in the ocean. Not one of the largest, not among the top 5, the largest. A fish the size of your hand, with teeth so disproportionately massive that its mouth physically cannot close all the way. And here is the thing that I keep coming back to. This animal is real. It exists right now, in oceans you have been to, at depths that are not unreachable, and almost nobody talks about it. That ends today. The fangtooth scientific name is Anoplogaster cornuta. Break that down and it translates roughly to unarmed stomach with horns, which tells you something immediately. Even the taxonomists who named this fish were trying to process what they were looking at. They fixated on two things: the strange, mostly empty stomach, and the horn-like projections around its jaw. They did not name it after its teeth, because the teeth were almost beyond naming. The fangtooth was formally described by science in 1833. But formal description and actual understanding are two very different things. For most of the 19th and early 20th century, it sat in museum collections, cataloged, labeled, studied in the detached way that early marine biology operated, without anyone fully grasping what made it genuinely remarkable. Part of the reason for that delay is something strange about this animal's life cycle that I will get to shortly. But the other reason is simple. Nobody was going deep enough to find live specimens regularly. The fangtooth lives between 200 and 5,000 meters below the surface. Most of its active life happens somewhere between 500 and 2,000 meters, in that layer of ocean where sunlight is completely gone, where pressure becomes genuinely crushing, where the water temperature drops close to freezing and stays there. Early trawl nets brought up dead, compressed, partially destroyed specimens. It was not until deep-sea research accelerated in the latter half of the 20th century with better equipment, better submersibles, better sampling methods, that scientists started to understand the fangtooth not as a curiosity in a jar, but as a functioning, living, extraordinarily well-adapted predator. And what they found when they looked carefully changed how they thought about the relationship between body size and predatory capability entirely. Let me be precise about this, because precision is what makes it land correctly. The fangtooth fish reaches a maximum body length of approximately 16 centimeters. That is an adult, fully grown, maximum size. Its lower jaw carries 2 fangs, actually, elongated, needle-pointed fangs that are proportionally the largest teeth of any fish species currently known to science. Now, proportionally is doing important work in that sentence. So let me give you the comparison that makes it real. If a human being had the same tooth-to-body ratio as the fangtooth fish, our canine teeth would be approximately the length of our forearms, not longer than normal teeth, not impressively large, the length of your forearm, sitting in your mouth. That is the ratio this animal is working with. And the physical consequence of carrying teeth that large and a jaw that small is something that sounds impossible until you understand how the fish solved it. The fangtooth's teeth are so long that they literally cannot retract. There is no mechanism to fold them away. They are fixed, permanent, always exposed. When the fangtooth closes its mouth, which it can only partially do, the lower fangs slide into specially developed sheaths on either side of the brain. Read that again. The fish's teeth are so large that closing its mouth requires the fangs to enter protective pockets located beside its own brain. The skull of this animal has been physically redesigned, modified through millions of years of evolutionary pressure to accommodate teeth that by any standard measure should not be possible. There is no blunt force description for this. The fangtooth did not evolve large teeth. It evolved a body architecture specifically built around the teeth it needed. The teeth came first, and everything else, the jaw structure, the skull geometry, the sheath system alongside the brain, was built to carry them. Here is the part of the fangtooth's biology that genuinely surprises people, even people who already knew about the teeth. Juvenile fangtooth fish do not look like adult fangtooth fish, not slightly different, not subtly changed. They look like a completely different animal. A juvenile fangtooth in its early larval and post-larval stages is pale gray, almost transparent. It has enormous eyes relative to its head. It has long, elaborate spines projecting from its skull and gill covers. Its teeth are small, normal, proportional. It drifts in the upper water column, in shallower, more oxygenated zones, feeding on small zooplankton. If you showed a photograph of a juvenile fangtooth and an adult fangtooth to someone unfamiliar with the species and asked them to identify the relationship, most people would say, there is none. They look that different. As the juvenile matures and begins migrating to deeper water, descending gradually toward the mesopelagic and athopelagic zones, it will inhabit as an adult. A transformation happens that marine biologists technically call metamorphosis. The spines are reabsorbed into the body. The eyes shift and become proportionally smaller. The coloration darkens from pale gray to deep brown to, in adults, an almost pure matte black that absorbs what little light exists at depth. The jaw lengthens, and those teeth begin growing. By the time the fangtooth is a functioning adult predator at depth, it is genuinely unrecognizable as the same animal. This transformation matters for one specific reason beyond the biological interest. For most of the period when scientists were trying to understand the fangtooth, juveniles and adults were being collected and cataloged as separate species, different names, different classifications, different descriptions. It was not until the 20th century that researchers connected the two life stages to the same animal. The fangtooth was hiding in plain sight in scientific collections because nobody realized the pale spiny, juvenile, and the black matte adult with the impossible teeth were the same fish at different points in its life. The fangtooth is an ambush predator, not a pursuit predator. This is the detail that makes the tooth design stop looking excessive and start looking elegant. At 500 to 2,000 meters depth in near total darkness, in cold water, with limited food speed is not a viable strategy. Chasing prey burns energy. In an environment where food encounters are rare and metabolic conservation is survival, you cannot afford to chase. So the fangtooth does not chase. It detects. Along its body runs a highly developed lateral line system, sensory pores and canals that detect minute pressure changes and water movement. In complete darkness, the fangtooth can sense the movement signature of another animal through the water displacement it creates. Not sound, not light, pressure. When the pressure signature comes close enough, the fangtooth strikes. And here is where those teeth stop being biological excess and start being precision engineering. The strike is single, fast. There is no second chance in the deep ocean dark. Whatever the fangtooth closes on fish, squid, crustacean, those disproportionate fangs need to penetrate and hold on the first attempt. Because if prey escapes in that darkness, it is gone. The energy cost of a missed strike cannot be easily recovered at that depth. The teeth are not large because the fangtooth is aggressive, or because it is territorial, or because it competes with other fangtooth fish for status. The teeth are large because in the environment this animal lives in, one strike is all you get. Every meal is one chance, and the teeth are the guarantee that one chance is enough. Two additional details about the fangtooth that deserve to be said clearly. First, bioluminescence. Along the underside of the fangtooth's body run rows of small light-producing organs called photophores. In the deep ocean, the fangtooth can produce faint light along its belly. The current scientific understanding of why, and it is still being refined, is that this belly light functions as counter-illumination. In the faint, diffuse light that filters down from the surface to the upper edges of the fangtooth's range, having a lit underside makes the fish harder to detect from below by anything looking upward. The silhouette disappears into the ambient dim light above. An animal with the largest teeth relative to body size in the ocean, also carrying a light cancellation system on its belly. Second, the stomach. The name Anoplogaster translates partly as unarmed stomach. Early taxonomists noticed that despite the fearsome dentition, the fangtooth stomach was relatively simple. Not the expandable, highly elastic stomach seen in animals like the black swallower, which can engulf prey 10 times its size. The fangtooth eats what it can hold. It does not need to expand dramatically because those teeth ensure that what it strikes, whatever it catches, does not escape. The teeth are the security system. The stomach just receives what the teeth guarantee. Every system in this animal connects back to the same central design principle. One strike, one hold, guaranteed. The fangtooth fish is not famous. You will not find it in popular documentaries the way the anglerfish is. It does not have the cultural footprint of the great white or the mystique of the giant squid. It does not even benefit from the size-based awe that makes the blue whale or the whale shark compelling to general audiences. It is 16 centimeters long. It lives in darkness you will never personally experience. It eats things you will never see. And yet, the fangtooth represents something that I think is genuinely worth understanding. It is a biological argument for specificity over generalization. Most animals are built to be reasonably capable across a range of conditions, adaptable, flexible, functional in multiple environments. The fangtooth is not that. The fangtooth is built for one environment, one hunting strategy, one moment, one strike. And within those narrow parameters, it is as close to perfect as evolution gets. Teeth that redesign the skull to carry them. A sensory system calibrated for pressure and darkness. A counter-illumination system to disappear from predators below. A metamorphic life cycle that starts it in shallow water and deposits it transformed into the deep. All of it connected, all of it purposeful, all of it pointing toward the same thing. A single moment in darkness at 1,000 meters where a pressure wave in the water tells this animal that something is close enough, and everything the fangtooth is comes down to what happens next. There is a photograph taken by a deep-sea research team of a live fangtooth fish captured on camera at depth. I want you to think about what you are actually looking at in that image. An animal smaller than your hand, in water almost 3 kilometers below the surface, in complete darkness. In near freezing temperatures, under pressure that would crush an unprotected human body in seconds, carrying teeth that required its own skull to be restructured to accommodate them, alive, right now, in oceans you have swum in depths directly beneath ferry routes and fishing boats and cruise ships and tankers, waiting for a pressure wave. The deep ocean has a way of doing this, of producing things that make you reconsider every assumption you had about what is possible in a living system. The fangtooth is not the largest, not the rarest, not the most dangerous to human beings by any practical measure, but it is, by documented scientific record, the answer to a very specific question. What is the most extreme ratio of tooth size to body size ever recorded in a fish? 16 centimeters, fangs long enough to require sheaths beside the brain. An animal that cannot fully close its own mouth. Anoplogaster cornuta, the fangtooth, already out there right now, waiting in the dark. If this kind of content is real, documented, stranger than anything fiction could produce, is what you came here for. Subscribe, because every single video on this channel is exactly this. True, verified, and waiting in the dark for you to find it.